So I'm curious, how many of you would make a bet with me, toss this coin, heads, I'll pay you $200, tails, you pay me $100? Oh, we have a couple? Okay, great, so perfect, I love it. There's a couple of brave people here. It's always good. And as you can see though, the majority of us don't really want to take this bet, right? Because even if you sort of go back and remember your statistics, you know that the expected value is $50. You also know, and I believe many of us have this voice that will say, what were you thinking? You just lost $100 in the toss of a coin. Was that really a smart choice? And the problem is that for many of us, we approach our careers the same way, where we're looking to not take risks, not put ourselves forward. But in response, we get slower growth and fewer job opportunities. So I became really interested in this idea of failure when I was walking through the Houston airport one year. And there was this Texas kiosk stand, and it said, everything's bigger in Texas, and don't mess with Texas. And then it had this shirt, failure is not an option. And as I walked away, I realized it really bothered me. And I was trying to figure out why. And I realized it's such a cultural paradigm for us to believe that failure is actually the opposite of success, that we should do everything we can to avoid failure, and that failure is actually the biggest problem. So if there's one thing I can have you guys leave here with today, I would love you to see that failure is not a derailment of your train to success. But in fact, it might take you on a different track than you intended to go, but take you to success nonetheless. So just a little bit about me. When I was first working in Silicon Valley, my very first job, I started out, I was working really hard, I was getting great performance reviews, and then something funny happened. I realized after a couple years that some of my peers were getting promoted, and I wasn't. And to be honest, I was hurt, I was embarrassed, I was ashamed. I really felt like I was a failure. And it took me years until looking back on it, after getting my PhD in business, studying leadership, before I understood that I was making the safe choice. I was putting my head down and working really hard, but I wasn't putting myself out there to be more visible in the organization and to get more influence upwards. And I think that's key in today's workplace. How do we put ourselves out there?